A woman in critical condition after she's hit by someone driving a vehicle overnight. This morning, we got an update on a small child who was with her, and at the time she was hit.
Strategic pause denied. San Antonio City Council approves funding for a $1.3 billion Spurs arena. A big step for a new sports and entertainment district. Why the debate, though, is far from over.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
We've been in this market for a number of years now, and it might be tough to top what played out at City Hall this past week.
Over the past week, yeah. It's literally been head spinning, head turning at times, but we got a vote yesterday at least.
Yes.
So, Marathon man here yesterday.
I'm telling you, like, it's been real when they've been taking him from us off the morning and go cover the stuff. But I'm happy that we finally at least got some type of confirmation.
The next step in the process, and we'll talk a little bit more about what's ahead. But yeah, you're right, Ernie. Definitely a day or a week that did not go without some drama.
Definitely.
Must-watch TV right there.
Well,
somebody online said that they spent 5 hours watching a city council meeting on their iPad, and they never thought they would do that.
Who could have guessed that? Wow.
It's a little rowdy out in the clouds, too, though.
Yeah, a little bit yesterday. We had some showers and storms around, but those have dissipated this morning, and we've got quiet conditions now. 73 degrees at the airport. Feels good out there. 74 in New Braunfels, 73 Converse, 64 Bernie. These are pretty nice numbers for mid to late August. We will get to a pretty warm number this afternoon. 93 at 2 o'clock, 95 will be your high. There is a 30% chance of some showers later today, some downpours, much like we've seen last several days between 2 and 8 p.m. We could see some of these pop-ups. Weekend, though, the rain chances begin to come down. 20% chance of rain Saturday, 95, 97 on Sunday, hot and humid. And very quickly, just sort of a random happening here, but I did want to let you know about it. 7.5 earthquake reported overnight in between Antarctica and South America. I mean, that's a significant earthquake, but it was in the right in between the two continents there. There were some tsunami warnings earlier. Those have since been allowed to be canceled. So just a little bit of a note there. RJ, what are you seeing out on the roads?
All right, Justin, already a busy start to your Friday morning commute as we take a look at your traffic authority. Wanted to show you a couple of other cameras. We've been focusing in on the southeast side. That crash at 37 South of Carolina has cleared out. So here's a look at some of our other cameras here. 1604 right there at I-10 on the far northwest side. Good morning to all of our folks there over by UTSA. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. But first of all, I do want to remind folks there are still reports of road debris. And you see that right here in the northbound lanes of 410 at Culebra. So it looks like there's something that spilled onto one of the main lanes. It hasn't caused any accidents, so that's good news. So people are still kind of navigating their way around this, maneuvering around it, some even having to drive over it, as you see maybe that car right there. But keep that in mind if you are stepping out to the west side, 410 north at Culebra Road. Hopefully they could get that cleared out here sometime here soon. 1604 Hausman Road. Construction has cleared out there, so we're good to go for all of our folks in that part of town. And back to the downtown area where we're still dealing with ongoing construction here. The upper levels right now, 35, headed into downtown. Still seeing some backups there due to ongoing bridge joint work. So let's check in with Alex Gomez right now to see what is the very latest in Drive Cam. What's up, Alex?
RJ, good morning and happy Friday. Well, yeah, it was a little bit of a rocky start for the 5 a.m. hour, but right now I think it's going to look smooth for 6 a.m. Check out the far west side. This is going to be 1604 northbound, just past Shanefield. This side of town, I'm not tracking any incidents, so TGIF, and I will let you know if anything pops up. RJ?
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex. Back to you guys.
Alrighty, thank you, sir. Now on to an Amber Alert this morning. Authorities are trying to find a missing 3-year-old girl. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office posted these images on their Facebook page right here. The BCSO says Aurora Bojorquez was last seen around 2 p.m. on July 7th. Aurora is 2 feet 5 inches tall with brown hair and brown eyes. Authorities believe Amber Heveland is wanted in connection with Aurora's disappearance. Authorities believe Heveland is driving a white 2013 Dodge Caravan with a Texas license plate WFB 8035. If you know where deputies might be able to find her, contact the Bexar County Sheriff's Office.
This morning, families want one local school board to hear their concerns. On Tuesday, parents waited and wanted to talk to Edgewood ISD about bullying and communication. But in the middle of the public comment, district police arrested a woman for going over her time limit. Well, that woman, we told you about her, Maribel Gardea, out of jail now, but she's still facing 3 charges of disrupting a meeting, criminal trespass, and resisting arrest. She's the executive director of Mind Shift Ed, which is that nonprofit dedicated to helping families advocate for their kids' education. Well, she met with families on the west side last night to call on the board to hear the community's concerns. She's calling on Edgewood ISD for an independent investigation into what happened, and then a private meeting with parents and for all charges to be dropped.
They bullied me into going into jail, into saying that I did all these things, and I don't believe that's true.
KSAT wanted to interview the Edgewood ISD superintendent, but we were told he was unavailable. He did respond to our questions through an email, though. He sent this in saying that after we had asked if he believed that the district handled the situation appropriately, he said in part, quote, Gardea's actions were not in alignment with board policy and required her removal. Today, we got the retrial of R.C. Curtis enters its 4th day, and he's accused of killing 75-year-old Paula Boyd in her apartment, which happened 10 years ago.
So yesterday, a jury saw an interview between San Antonio police and a capital murder suspect. 6 days after Boyd's death, Curtis visited with San Antonio police. The jury heard Curtis explain that he was married to Boyd's granddaughter. He denied taking anything from her and said that he had nothing to do with Boyd's murder. If he's convicted, Curtis faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. Testimony is expected to continue later on this morning, and you can watch all of that live on our digital platforms.
Okay, as we mentioned off the top, a lot of drama this week with the mayor, city council, and the Spurs. So we have the latest this morning on the proposed arena and that city council meeting yesterday that lasted close to 7 hours and had more than 100 public speakers. But for now, the council has spoken, with the majority going against Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones's attempt to pause the vote and not approve the term sheet for the arena. But before the council voted, there were definitely some tense moments in council chambers. Mayor Jones surprisingly called Spurs chairman Peter J. Holt to the podium and asked multiple times whether he felt a pause would be good for the city. That definitely riled up some folks in the chamber who wanted a yes or no answer from Peter J. Holt. You see him right there. Now, he did say that he felt that there was enough data available and that this is a generational investment into downtown, and the deal was beneficial to the city, county, and the Spurs. But several people, as many of you probably saw, spoke publicly against the arena and Project Marvel in general.
And have that dialogue, and you can even disagree with respect and love and passion, so that's great. And what it shows me is that people really care, and people really care about our city, people care about Spurs, and so we have an immense opportunity now ahead of us to communicate and educate and answer questions.
There is a majority on the council that still see value in the independent economic impact study, and I think that will be important to inform our project agreements moving forward.
So Mayor Jones said that she's still going to get that independent economic study done. But what is next else? What else is next here? Bexar County voters will decide that last piece of funding in November. That's $311 million that will also come from the state visitor and tourism taxes. That vote would also lead to improvements for the Frost Bank Center. Now, Holt said the Spurs, he understands, have a lot of work to do to go into the community and neighborhoods to explain how this is a good deal for everyone involved. Guys, back to you.
All right, RJ, thank you. We are learning more about the firing of Poteet Police Chief Bruce Hickman, Lieutenant Noe Rodriguez, and an unnamed sergeant that happened earlier this week.
All 3 on administrative suspension while the city finishes its review. But a scathing 29-page external review of the Poteet Police Department revealed multiple instances of favoritism, resistance to oversight, and a loss of public trust in the department. You can find that full report, of course, right now on our website. That QR code is going to take you there. We can check out all the details.
Now, the review also revealed that one leader's spouse handled sensitive police duties and that the department often ignored city policies. The Poteet Police Chief, Lieutenant, and Sergeant are on administrative suspension.
Hi there. In your morning headlines, Texas Senate Bill 1, known as the Heavens 27 Camp Safety Act, unanimously passed the state Senate late last night. The law is aimed at keeping kids safe at summer camps after last month's tragic flooding in the Hill Country. The measure would require that camps have real-time weather alerts and train staff on evacuations and clear emergency plans. It also keeps sleeping cabins out of flood-prone areas. Now, in a statement, the families of the victims applauded the passage and emphasized that while no law can erase their grief, this legislation represents a powerful legacy of hope. Meanwhile, the Community Foundation of Texas Hill Country has pledged $40 million to help with housing recovery. Right now, the foundation is working on when and how the money will be distributed and which projects come first. This morning in California, Eric Menendez, a man accused of killing his parents, will not be getting out of prison, at least not anytime soon. A California parole panel denied his request for release decades after he and his brother Lyle were convicted of killing their parents back in 1989. The brothers became eligible for parole earlier this year after a judge reduced their sentences from life without parole to 50 years to life. Now, Eric can go before the parole board again in 3 years. As for Lyle, he's set to face the same panel later this morning. And this morning, the public may soon get to look at previously unreleased files of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Republicans and Democrats on the House Oversight Committee are working together to obtain them, and today the Justice Department is expected to start releasing documents to panel. Advocates for Epstein's victims are calling the move a step in the right direction, while the full House plans to consider legislation forcing further disclosure after Labor Day.
All right, outside with HiveCam, it is 6:10, a very comfortable 73 degrees, and we got mostly clear skies here in San Antonio for our Friday. Coming up, we're going to look at the rain totals from yesterday. Who got rain and who didn't? We'll take a look coming up.
You heard the songs. Now meet the stars. We got the stars behind the K-pop hit that has smashed Netflix records. This morning, we're going inside the K-pop Demon Hunters phenomenon with the voices and creators who made it a global sensation.
On the rare occasion, I'm sure, when the two of you disagree on something, who wins that argument?
Julie wins all
Good
the time.
answer. It's a great answer.
He's not even the best attorney in his own family, but he is the legal boss for the Spurs. Bobby Perez talks with me about Project Marvel and his past time at City Hall coming up. 6:14, welcome back to This Morning. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is appealing a recent federal ruling that blocked the state's law requiring the 10 Commandments be posted in Texas classrooms.
Stephanie Serna has been following the story. She asked some parents how they feel about the law.
And we're just trying to ask parents around San Antonio what they think about the 10 Commandments being posted in school. It's a law that should take effect by September.
Yeah, I feel like all families and all kids should have the right to make that choice. I know Texas is pretty strong on parents having the choice of what their children are exposed to. So I feel like the 10 Commandments should fall under that. Myself personally, I don't feel like the classroom is the place for that. I am a former public school teacher, and as a teacher, you want to be welcoming to all students, and I feel like that might make some students feel left out.
The 10 Commandments being posted into Texas classrooms. Right. What did you think about that?
I think there's a place for, I think the 10 Commandments are basic, and I think they should be standard beliefs of everyone, and so I think there's a place for that because they're basic rules. They're not any one religion. They're all, everyone should be abiding by the 10 Commandments.
And you were telling me a little bit about what you thought.
Yes, ma'am. So I haven't done a lot of research on it, but I mean, our family's Christian, so the 10 Commandments are okay with us, but I do respect that maybe for inclusivity there should be, you know, other religious tenets included in the classroom then, so that it's not all just one faith.
Stephanie Serna reporting there. So the latest ruling only applies to school districts that were involved in the lawsuit.
So that means the districts that weren't will have to follow the new law, and it takes effect on September the 1st. Okay, let's get out on the roadways with RJ, see how we're looking right now.
All right, guys, I'm literally...
There you go. It takes 7 seconds.
Call some Trans guy, thank you very much. Sorry about that, y'all. Yes, because we do have this major accident. Trying to get some more information. So at last check right now, it looks like we have all the main lanes of 35 North completely shut down right here at Brooklyn Avenue. What I was also trying to do when we went to me here is to try and get a graphic up, and there we go. Managed to get that going here. This is going to be 35 North again, Brooklyn Avenue. This is going to be a little bit north of the downtown area, kind of that St. Mary's area as well, a little bit past North Main Avenue. And again, TxDOT right now reporting that all the main lanes of 35 North have been shut down, but it looks like we do have at least one main lane getting through there. Not only do we have this accident, but obviously that ongoing construction that's stretching from downtown at the Y all the way further south to South Laredo Street. So clearly a big mess in the downtown area right now, and we'll continue to gather more information on what exactly is going on there. But 35 North at Brooklyn Avenue, major mess there. Good news here, it looks like they have cleared out that road debris that was on the northbound lanes of 410 at Culebra Road for all of our drivers on the west side of town. So again, good news on the west side, but that downtown accident probably going to cause some major backups. We will continue to follow the very latest there. Let's check in with Alex right now on Drive Cam and see how things are looking on the ground. What's up, Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. I don't think it looks good for the downtown area as well, but I'm hearing that that lower level was shut down. The upper level should be okay, but I'm going to go double check on how traffic is looking downtown. Right now I'm coming down I-10 West, or actually I-10 East from the northwest side. I'm almost there. I'm going to see if I can get a good vantage point and I can give you a good picture of what's happening down there, RJ.
Thank you very much for that update, Alex. Yeah, this definitely looks like it's affecting North Main, Martin Streets as well, so we will continue to follow the very latest there. Justin, how are we looking outside?
Yeah, not what you want to see on a Friday, right?
No.
We're looking okay weather-wise, RJ. No wet roads or anything like that. The drought monitor came in yesterday, and it showed some minor improvement. Medina County had been almost completely underneath an exceptional drought, which is the worst of the worst. So we pared that back just a little bit thanks to some recent rains. But we still have exceptional drought, or extreme drought, I should say, for Bexar County and, of course, Medina County and out towards Del Rio as well. So did we get any rain in those areas yesterday? I think that's the big question, so that maybe we could see some improvement when the next drought monitor comes out. And honestly, we really didn't. San Antonio did not see a lot yesterday. It was all around us, but it just did not make its way in here. We had an outflow boundary come through, and once it got here, it pretty much all the rain with it had gone away, and then it stabilized us, and we just didn't get any rain. If you get up into the hill country, areas that really didn't need the rain got some. Southern Kerr County got about 2 inches, Utopia about 3 inches. These are areas that are not considered in drought. So, that's the way it goes sometimes. Hopefully we can get a little more rain today in the forecast. I think it's possible here in San Antonio that we'll see some downpours during the afternoon hours. We sit at 20.31 at the airport, so we're still technically a little bit above average, but that's not going to last much longer if we don't see some rain next few days. Okay, rain chances look like this. As we get into the afternoon, we should see about not a 60% chance, but a 30% chance of rain here in San Antonio. It'll be isolated. And as we look at the futurecast here, this is noontime. Not much yet, but by 2 o'clock, we start to see these pop-up downpours. It's going to be hard to pinpoint when and where these might pop up. But we know by 2, 3, 4 o'clock, you're going to see some around on radar. And there could be some over San Antonio. By 6, 7 o'clock, you'll start to see them kind of fade away. And by 10 o'clock, most everything will be off the radar. Forecast for today, 76 at 8 a.m., 83 at 10 a.m., noontime 89, and then look for a high right around 95 with that 30% chance of rain. Again, during the late afternoon and evening hours. Extended forecast. We'll go 95 tomorrow, 20% chance of rain on your Saturday. Most of your weekend will be spent with dry weather, quite honestly. Sunday, just a 10% chance. Same for Monday and Tuesday. Can't rule it out, but anything we see is going to be extremely few and far between. All right, on this day in 2017, a weak disorganized Harvey moved into the Gulf. 3 days later, it made landfall near Rockport as a Category what hurricane? Was it Cat 2, Cat 3, Cat 4, Cat 5? You can vote KSAT.com/polls, scan the QR code. We'll get you set with that answer coming up in about half an hour.
6:21 right now, 73 degrees outside.
From Netflix smash to the big screen, K-pop Demon Hunters is taking over. The stars and creators share how they turn catchy songs into a global hit up next.
In this morning's GMA First Look, inside the K-pop Demon Hunters phenomenon. The action-packed film, which became the most watched original animated film on Netflix, is so successful, it's now making the rare jump from streaming to the big screen.
Just knowing that this is something that you can just watch over and over again with your friends, your family, or alone, it's so fun.
And this morning, the creative forces behind the movie are opening up to GMA.
Having people sing songs like melody that you've created, lyrics that you've created and worked so hard on is so serendipitous and it's the best gift ever.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more on how those catchy songs came to be. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
6:30 on this Friday morning. Again, thanks so much for waking up with us, spending your morning with GMSA.
Yes, and we are less than a week away from the start of
football.
Yes, sir. I knew you would know the
go.
answer. I knew you would know the answer.
Yes.
Friday night
just
lights
ingrained.
are about to be turned on.
Absolutely, yeah. Pigskin Classic. Let's go.
Next Thursday.
Oh, it is. We're going to be out there having a good time. And the weather might not be cooperating with us, though. Might
It
be
never
a little
does.
hot.
It never does this time of year, but that's okay. The guys are conditioned and ready to go in this heat. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm getting excited over here. It is Friday.
There is a box here, guys. I'm standing on. I'm so sorry. Don't think that I'm...
We're just glad you're okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out what happened.
Well, we thought we're on a fault line here or something.
I'm sorry.
All right, let's take a look at a picture from our KSAT Connect. This is from Pat, and she sent a picture of the sunset yesterday. It was beautiful. It really was. We had some great colors in the sky after some of those leftover clouds from the thunderstorms, and this was out at Canyon Lake. I mean, that is a beautiful, beautiful scene, and good to see Canyon Lake is up somewhat. Of course, still below where it needs to be. As we look out at the forecast for the bus stop this morning, if you're walking out the door, actually feels pretty good. Temperatures are in the low to mid 70s. It'll be comfortable, and then we get some rain chances as you get out of school later today. Just a 30% chance, but as it's been the last couple days, you can see some lightning, some thunder, and some quick downpours with anything that develops. Hey, I want to show you this. This is the temperature outlook as we get into next week. See this blue color here? That represents a high chance of below average temperatures. Much of the country is going to see that. Not so much us. It's still staying hot, but we'll take a look at why the pattern is changing a little bit. That's coming up here in just a couple minutes. But now over to RJ. We've had issues on the roads. Are they still there?
Yes, they definitely are, Justin. Good morning to all of our folks out there. And if you're traveling through the downtown area anytime soon, we have got a major mess right here on the lower levels of 35 at Brooklyn Avenue. This is going to be all of our northbound traffic right here at Brooklyn. You see that we have some emergency vehicles on the scene. Not sure how many vehicles are involved in this crash, but we do know that it is causing some major delays. So let's take you to our maps and show you some of the backup that we're seeing right now. That's going to be our camera right there at Florida Street. A little bit further up the road, that's going to be our camera there at North Main Avenue. Now, the upper level of 35 right here at Brooklyn looks like we are still kind of squeezing some of the traffic through that area, but the lower level is completely shut down. So this is going to be the biggest thing we're following at the moment. Let's check in with Alex Gomez to see how things are looking in Drive Cam. Alex?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the lower level right now, and it looks like there was an 18-wheeler involved in this incident over here on I-35 northbound. So again, like you said, the lower level was shut down. You're going to have to use that higher level. Oh, here we go. We have an ambulance actually leaving the scene too. So I haven't heard of any reported injuries, but you just saw the ambulance go by right there. So this could be shut down for most of the morning if we do have some serious injuries in this. But again, the lower level is going to be shut down I-35 northbound. If you're coming down from I-10 west or I-10 east, actually, exit Santa Rosa. If you exit Santa Rosa, you can get on Quincy, and that's going to be a good alternate route if you want to continue going up I-35 or even 281 for that matter. RJ?
Okay, thank you very much for that, Alex, and some of those alternate routes. We'll check back in with him in just a little bit. Guys, back to you.
6:32 with this morning. Okay, new this morning, we've got a woman who was in critical condition after being hit by someone driving a car last night. San Antonio police say that this happened on Military Drive on the southeast side of town. They say that a woman and a child were crossing the street around 10:30 p.m. when she was hit. Luckily, though, the child also was unharmed, but the driver, they stopped and helped. The woman was taken to the hospital.
Hey there, good morning, San Antonio. San Antonio police say their targeted crime reduction efforts in violent hotspots are working. Now, it's been 2 years since they started this crime reduction study, and this morning, neighbors in one community report they have noticed improvements.
Right now, this better, a little better.
Those who live around the Rosemont at Highland Park Apartments on Rigsby have noticed more police drive-bys and fewer shootings, but they still don't feel safe enough to show you their faces.
We don't hear as much as we used to. Used to hear gunshots, but I haven't heard any.
They changed a little bit, but right now they're going to start doing again. And a lot of homeless.
Management at the apartments is working with SAPD in a crime reduction program. It's part of a larger 2-year study with UTSA. First, police break up the city into 135,000 grids to identify crime hotspots. Patrol cars with flashing lights were parked in the areas as a crime deterrent, and police say it worked.
Then we shifted a little bit to where the officers are getting out of their vehicles and they're talking with people and walking around to be seen.
Phase 2 targets the most violent places. These apartments were ranked 4th in violent crime incidents and calls. The research team found 19 contributing issues like poor lighting, homeless encampments, and a nearby convenience store. After 1 year of tackling the issues, police say violent crimes went down 50% and trespassing calls stopped. The study shows overall violent crime is down 22% in targeted hotspots, with a 6% drop spilling into neighboring communities.
There was a lot of doubt, and including me, there was a lot of doubt in people's minds that this would work.
Okay, so here is the next step for this study, which we're going to hear more about later this fall. Police are going to work with repeat high-risk offenders to help them get a job or whatever assistance they need that's causing them to turn into crime. Ernie?
All right, Patty, thank you for that. This morning, the mother of a 14-year-old who was killed near his school wants prison sentences for the people who were involved. Simon Cuevas was shot and killed just minutes after leaving his SAISD campus back in April. Surveillance video shows him walking away from the school with a group of people. SAPD then said he was beaten and shot and killed. In the months since his death, police have arrested one person, 18-year-old Fernando Flores. However, there are still 2 suspects police have not taken into custody. One is 20-year-old Cesar Tijerina, and the other is an unknown minor because SAPD will not release information on a minor. Simon's mother, Alejandra Cuevas, is still fighting for justice for her son.
I mean, I wish somebody would have been around that day that could have stopped it, prevented it, scared them away.
What does justice look like to you in this case?
For everyone involved to be held accountable, for them to get time, for them to have to go to prison.
If you have any information on this suspect, SAPD says to contact their homicide department.
A man is facing charges after a hit and run that killed a 62-year-old woman in Balcones Heights back in June. 36-year-old Kevin Tilley accused of speeding and leaving the scene after hitting Irma de Leon on Fredericksburg Road. Police say that he tried to hide the damage by taking apart his car and then buying new parts. Well, surveillance video and blood evidence connected his silver Acura to the crash. Tilley was arrested in Tarrant County.
Alamo Heights is cracking down on noisy neighbors. City leaders just amended their noise ordinance, and police will start enforcing it on October 31st. Homeowners and businesses will not be able to use gas-powered lawn equipment like mowers, blowers, or chainsaws between 8:30 at night and 7:30 in the morning. Landscapers face even tighter weekend rules, only 6 hours to work on Saturdays and none at all on Sundays. The city is also setting strict decibel limit, 63 for homes, 70 for businesses. Exceptions do apply for things like sporting events, pools, or even ice cream trucks.
Okay, let's get you to some national and state headlines. This morning, the Texas Senate will reconvene at 10 a.m. after adjourning last night without voting on the Republican redistricting bill. That bill redraws district lines to help Republicans win more seats in Congress. Governor Greg Abbott says he expects to sign on those maps very soon. Usually those maps get redone every 10 years after the census, but President Trump asked Texas to do it early before next year's midterms. And Governor Abbott says this is not the first time something like this has happened.
So Texas has done mid-decade redistricting before, so have other states. It's perfectly legal to do. There are some states that require constitutional amendment to do it. That's not the case in Texas.
Now, the new maps could change districts for 4 of our area representatives, so this will affect us. Congressman Henry Cuellar, Vicente Gonzalez, and Greg Casar, and also Lloyd Doggett. Speaking of Mr. Doggett there, the congressman released a statement saying that he'll run for re-election if the map is rejected, but that he will not do it if it's approved. And here's part of his statement that says, in part, quote, "I prefer to devote the coming months to fighting Trump tyranny and serving Austin rather than waging a struggle with fellow Democrats," end quote. All right, now to the West Coast. California is responding to all this. Voters there will decide on a new map aimed at helping Democrats win 5 more House seats in November. California state lawmakers approved the special election legislation, and Governor Gavin Newsom signed it last night, but he says that it's, quote, "a response to an assault on democracy in Texas." However, Republicans have already filed a lawsuit and promised to fight that measure in California. Other news here, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is looking into whether Tesla delayed notifying the government about crashes involving the self-driving technology. In a filing, the agency says that Tesla is required to submit a report within 5 days of receiving a notice of a crash. Instead, the agency says that Tesla reported the crashes months after they actually happened. Officials also say that Tesla is indicating that it has fixed past problems collecting and reporting that data. Okay, Chipotle fans, listen up. I'm one of those. The next time you order some Chipotle delivery, you may want to keep an eye on the sky. The restaurant chain is partnering with Zipline, that is a drone delivery provider. Customers will be able to place their orders through the Zipline app, and a drone will then deliver it to your house, straight to your front door. Right now, this delivery method is only available for a small number of customers in the Dallas area, but Chipotle expects to offer that service to more cities in the coming weeks. And speaking of drones here, here's a little bit of a life lesson. Take a look at this Florida man right here. If you crash a drone carrying illegal drugs, your best bet is that you probably should recover those drugs before the police arrive. And that's what happened to that individual right there in Tampa, Florida. Homeowners called police after a man who had crashed his drone on their property knocked on the front door wanting it back. Police say that the drone was actually carrying meth and fentanyl. So officers quickly arrested 49-year-old Jason Brooks. He's now facing multiple charges related to drugs and driving an unregistered vehicle without a valid license. Guys.
Man, and he got a damaged drone now.
No drone.
Oh. And he's not getting the drugs back. Okay. What can you say? Well, we can say this. Your nominations for the SA Picks 2025 contest are in. We asked you to choose San Antonio's top businesses, and you did not disappoint. We received thousands of nominations across nearly 100 categories. You can scan the QR code to see all the finalists, and if you did not get to submit your favorite business, you can still vote for a winner. You have from now until September 20th to vote. You can vote for each category once a day, and we'll announce the winners in late September.
Outside with live cam, wait a second. What was he doing with the drugs? Like, where were they going?
That's a whole other
they
question.
were trying to float them over everybody.
I have a lot of questions here.
Those drugs were high.
Literally.
Well done. A few clouds out there this morning. We have high pressure that will build in by the weekend into next week. We'll show you what that means for our forecast coming up.
All righty, he is the legal boss for the San Antonio Spurs. Bobby Perez is talking with me about Project Marvel and his past time at City Hall. The latest episode of Pickup Lines, a little preview is up next. All right, happy Friday. It is 6:45 now. This week on Pickup Lines, I'm sitting down with the San Antonio Spurs Chief Legal Officer and General Counsel. He's over there with the red thing on his chest. Bobby Perez grew up wanting to be quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, but he ended up in the NBA instead. The Jefferson High School grad has been in the news a lot lately with all the talk about Project Marvel. He's actually led the negotiations on behalf of the Spurs with the city and the county. Perez once served as a city council member himself in the late 1990s. How did that time on the other side of the dais help you in what you're doing right now and as you try to navigate through this?
You know, I think the appreciation for the public process, the community input, and understanding of that whole microcosm of what happens on the city side has been very helpful. Not many people go through it, but it helps you really understand how you take steps to go advance a transaction.
So in this episode, Bobby also talks about why he chose to walk away from city council and why he says he's not even the best attorney in his own family. The latest episode of Pickup Lines premieres this afternoon at 5:30 and replays at 7:30 on the free KSAT Plus app, or you can watch it right now on KSAT.com. Just search Pickup Lines.
All right, yes, good stuff there with Bobby Perez, Ernie, and of course, congrats to him. He just welcomed a brand new grandbaby. So yes, family is expanding there, and he is clearly doing a lot with the Spurs and these arena negotiations. But let's get you updated here on the traffic situation, because downtown has got a lot going on right now. You just saw that shot from our TransGuide camera feed there. That's going to be 35 north at Brooklyn Avenue. The lower levels completely shut down. And here's what we're looking like in the maps. You're basically looking north of downtown, anything from Main Avenue, from St. Mary's, that entire stretch that's going to go down on 35. We are seeing some backups, not only because of the construction here, but clearly that one accident. We also have an incident right here. This is going to be I-10 east at Probant. So south of downtown, this is obviously not on 35, but causing a little bit of delays for our folks that are, again, in the King William kind of Southtown area. But this is the shot there at Main Avenue. You can see that we're not getting any traffic in through the lower levels there, 35 north. That's the backup that we're seeing at Florida Street right now. So let's go to Alex, because we know that he is on the ground in the downtown area. Alex, what can you tell us?
Yeah, and I was keeping an eye on the scene for you, RJ. So it was 3 vehicles involved, 2 smaller vehicles, and then that 18-wheeler that I was showing you earlier, where those 2 smaller vehicles have actually already been towed away. And I'm hearing reports from SAPD that they're about to reopen pretty soon. So that's good for the 7 a.m. drivers. But again, we still have that long backup that accrued because of it. But again, I'll keep you updated. But I am hearing that SAPD is going to be reopening soon. I think that 18-wheeler wasn't damaged as bad as the other vehicles, and that's just going to drive away pretty soon, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. Alex, in Drive Cam. Justin, what's the weekend weather looking like?
Quiet. I think for the most part, RJ, we're going to see some warm weather both days. There could be a couple of isolated showers and storms as we get into Saturday. But I think for the most part, your weekend will be just fine. Certainly no tropical weather to speak of, at least for us. Now, out in the Atlantic, it is still pretty busy. We've got Aaron that is moving away. 80% chance of development here with a wave that likely curves off into the Atlantic and doesn't do much. Then there is this wave. This one's a little more interesting because it is further south, and the latest computer models do want to take it almost due west towards the islands. But that said, it is extremely disorganized, and it's moving into an area that is not really conducive for development. So it may not even come together as a tropical depression. We shall see. But if it does make it into the Caribbean, eventually it could hit some more areas that maybe are conducive for development. And if that happens, you know, we shall have to see what unfolds. We'll keep you posted. I really don't think that for us there will be any impacts. High pressure begins to build in, and that's one of the reasons it kind of deflects everything away from us. High pressure will be in here by late Sunday into Monday. And while we can't completely rule out a straight shower, this is going to squash most of our rain chances, as you know. And as we get into midweek, it does kind of sit here. Now, by Wednesday, there is going to be a frontal boundary that tries to work in from the north and east. Probably does not make it here, but maybe it gets close enough to kick off a shower or two. That same front, though, is going to give some cooler weather to a large portion of the nation. I got to say, I'm a little jealous where you see these darker blue colors. That means there's a high likelihood of below average temperatures stretching from the nation's capital all the way back out to Kansas, even North Texas. But that front, as I said, probably stalls right before it gets to us. So we'll have above average temperatures. Not fair. It actually is kind of a nice looking front that'll be moving in and will cool a lot of places down. 73 degrees right now in San Antonio. Feels good out there right now. 66 in Bernie, and our forecast today does call for rain chances at 30%. So it'll be widely scattered between 2 and 8 p.m. And then a 20% chance of rain Saturday. Smaller chances, as I said, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and maybe a slightly better shot. We'll see what happens with that front on Wednesday. Either way, we're hot all the way through. All right, our Just Ask Justin question this morning actually has to do with a bit of history. It was on this day that Harvey, what was left of it anyway, was coming into the Gulf of Mexico as a disorganized mess. But in a matter of about 2.5 days, Hurricane Harvey became a what category hurricane? Was it 2, 3, 4, or 5? The voices have spoken. They say 4. What do y'all think?
I remember I had underestimated the power of a Cat 4, and I remember I feel like that was what they were saying that was, and I was like, wow, this is pretty big.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, you guys are exactly right. So too is the Odyssey. It was Cat 4. What was incredible about this is that Harvey went from a depression to a Cat 4 in just 56 hours. Went from a Cat 1 to a Cat 4 in just 12 hours. And that's when we really started to understand the power of the Gulf waters. And we've seen this a lot, really, over the last couple of years, where a system gets into the Gulf and it goes 0 to 60 because that water's just been so warm as of late.
Did it make 2 landfalls?
It made several.
Yeah,
I mean, if you remember, it started way out in the Atlantic, but yeah, it curly-cued around and came back out into the Gulf and then made landfall again. Yeah, it was a wild storm.
Okay, very good, sir. Thank you. All right, more to come here on GMSA at 9.
We are here at Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages, and I'm going to introduce you to Hector Gonzalez. Now, he's been here for more than 55 years. We're going to introduce you to him coming up on GMSA at 9.
All right, we are getting close to our 7 o'clock hour, and a quick check of traffic. I-10 eastbound right there at Proban. We do have a stalled vehicle off to the side of the road. That's going to be south of downtown, but our major issue is going to be a little bit north of downtown. And some good news, it looks like this has actually cleared out here over on the downtown area. 35 Brooklyn Avenue starting to move along. Let's check in with Justin for a check.
Thank you, sir. We're in the low 70s right now, so it feels really nice outside. That does not last. 89 degrees by noontime, 93 at 2 o'clock. We do put in a 30% chance of rain later today. High temperature of 95. And look for lower rain chances this weekend and by early next week. Just a very, very small chance. Temperatures stay warm through the middle part of next week.
All right, there we go. We got more partying to do, guys, on this Friday morning.
Indeed, RJ's on his way in for the next hour of GMSA Plus on the free KSAT Plus app. Download it, please, if you have not already.
Yes.
And we'll see you in a little bit.
We'll see you on the other side.